everyone, my name is Evie and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a little bit different. We're going to be taking it easy on the quirky science facts, and instead, in honor of Science Literacy Week, I'll be giving you 4 book recommendations to get you excited about science. Science Literacy Week is a week-long celebration in Canada in partnership with the Canadian Space Agency. There are tons of science engagement events you can attend in your city, so I'll leave some links below for you to find them. People who aren't scientists may feel like science is something far-fetched, inaccessible, and impossible for them to understand. But Science Literacy Week brings the science to you. From fun lectures to activities, there's something for everyone. Growing up, science was never my standout favorite subject, but I always loved to read. And I think my passion for science was started in the books I read as a kid. And now, as a science communicator, I've gone back to science storytelling, science fiction, and books in general to spark and hold people's interest. Without further ado, here are 4 book recommendations to get you excited about science. The first book I'd recommend is The Martian. So this is a science fiction book by Weir, but it's one of the most scientifically accurate science fiction books ever written. For someone like me who really enjoys the nitty-gritty science and math behind space exploration, I found this book so fascinating. Since the main character is both a botanist and a mechanical engineer, you get to hear the science being narrated in his head, and everything from building a shelter to growing plants on Mars. It is about a man alone on a planet for an entire year. So there'll be times when the plot is slow, but the science kept me engaged the whole time. If you like the book, you'll probably also like the movie, and Neil deGrasse Tyson interviewed Weir on his podcast StarTalk, so I'll link that below. The podcast had a lot of cool insight into the book. They also talked about Weir's newer book, Artemis, which is about a moon base, which is supposed to be even more scientifically accurate. This man likes to do his research. I should note that The Martian is not completely accurate. It's pretty accurate in many cases, but not completely. It is fiction. Another book I'd recommend is IRobot. I watched the movie as a kid, and then I read the book, and it was not like the movie at all. The book is by Asimov, and it's a collection of short stories that take place in a world where robot technology has progressed further than it has now. I'd kind of relate it to Black Mirror in the sense of the stories aren't really connected, but they all take place in an exaggerated universe that kind of asks questions about society. It was very, very cool. The next book I actually have with me, and it is Darwin's On the Origin of Species. The full name is On the Origin of Species by Means of Natural Selection or the Preservation of Favored Races in the Struggle for Life. You might ask, Evie, why would I read a book that was written in the 1800s? Fair, this book was published in 1859. But hear me out. This is next on my reading list. As you can see, I've barely started. But in every biology course, we have learned about evolution. In my neuroscience classes, psychology, linguistics, chemistry, I thought after a decade of learning about evolution secondhand from my textbooks, from my teachers, why not read it from the source itself? There's a 1973 essay titled Nothing Makes Sense in Biology Except in the Light of Evolution. And I think that really sums up my understanding of science. When learning about biology in grade 9 or 10, a lot of my classmates wouldn't like it because it was a lot of memorizing. We had to memorize the parts of the cell, different bones in the body, pathway of the digestive system. And a lot of people would say, what's the point of memorizing this just to write it down on a test? But when you learn about evolution, everything starts to make sense. These organelles you had to memorize are all there to perform a specific function. Evolution tells us why the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, why we have each bone in our body, and how they're related to other mammals and reptiles and animals that are our distant cousins. It's a concept so simple, and it changed everything. And from everything I read, Darwin was a great science communicator. He's not famous just for the research he did. He's famous for this book that was written for the public. And that, as a science communicator, is what I strive to do. And the final book I'm going to recommend is called The Brain That Changes Itself. I read this book when I was in my first year general science program, not really sure of what to do with my degree. I was interested in all aspects of science. What kind of specialization would I pick? Reading this book about how the brain can change after injury or stroke, how neurons can shape new pathways to help in recovery and rehabilitation was mind-blowing. I don't remember who told me this, but as a kid I remember understanding that skin cells and blood cells could regenerate, but I had heard that nerve cells could not, that they were the only cells in the body that if they were destroyed would not be able to grow back. I don't know where I learned that. Was it a textbook? Was it TV? Was it my parents? I don't know. This book and subsequently studying neuroscience taught me that that's very much not the case. Your brain can change itself. Neuroplasticity can reshape pathways. Just read it. It's a quick chapter book. It'll blow your mind, I promise. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you'd like more book recommendations, leave it in the comments below. Maybe science books for kids or fiction versus non-fiction. Let me know. I just really want to show you that anyone can be interested in science. All you have to do is ask questions, be curious, and reading these books is a great way to start. Happy Science Literacy Week. I will see you in the next video, and remember that science is everywhere.